Hello, welcome to CryptoCoach365, day 127. It's 127 episodes so far. Mike Tozoni here. I am still in San Diego. Sorry. Saint Kitts. There's a lot of Saint cities. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm still in San Diego. It's my last day here, actually. And today was actually the main reason that I came all the way out here, which was to meet with JT's an accountant to discuss a possible investment and to go over the numbers. Mostly to go over the numbers, to kind of explain what the actual business is. And see what kind of involvement we can get out of it. Like with any business relationships or pitching for investors or anything, it's not so much about the money. Like a lot of times people think that when you try to raise money, what you want to focus on is how much of a return somebody will get. So like they show up and they say, hey, give me, let's say, $100,000 and I'll give you a 12% return on this, and here's my business and you'll make a little bit of money off of that. And the thing is, like, if I don't know what your business is, I'm not going to trust you. If even if you explain what the business is and you tell me 12% return or something like that, like, even if I know that the business is going to work, how do I know that you're just not going to take my money and run, or that you're not going to mess up and lose my money somehow? Or even, how do I know that you're a good person who I would be willing to associate with, as opposed to, like, yeah, you might give me my 12% or 20% or whatever return, but you end up being kind of an asshole and then screwing some people over, and later in my own business life, it comes out in history that I used to work with this person who was a really bad person, and now I'm associated with them, and my own reputation gets tarnished a little bit too. Excuse me. So, yeah, really, when you're talking and building a business relationship with somebody, the main goal is not what the return will be, because there are lots of opportunities to make a return, and everybody's going to promise you a really good return. Hell, I get offers from people contacting me on Facebook like at least once a week, promising me like that if I invest with them, I will make like even 10% a month, or even 10% a week, which obviously consider all those things to just be scammers, because I don't know who they are and the returns are way too high. But I mean, the high returns are not going to do anything for me, and high returns are not going to do anything for other like professional investors. So yeah, you might get some amateurs to invest in your business who will probably get hurt and come after you legally. If you really want to build a good kind of a business investment relationship, it has to be about the person. It has to be about what else they get besides just a return on the money. So do you get some sort of an involvement? Do you get some sort of reputation boost? Do you know that your money that you're investing is going to do good for the world? Because again, even like wealthiest people have a lot of charitable contributions, and part of that is because they want to leave a legacy. Part of that is obviously because they want to improve their own image as well. So yeah. So building relationships is, again, number one key in here, and I feel like here it went pretty well. So we spent half the day, morning till about lunchtime, basically going over all the details of my business, my own relationships, my own connections and reputation in this space, who I knew, what kind of people I knew, what kind of people they knew, how much of a possibility there is for actually building on these relationships, what kind of skill sets we have, what kind of competition we have, what kind of a unique selling proposition we have, what kind of unique strategies and advantages our business idea has, and obviously the most important is how exactly are we going to make money. And I've actually noticed that this is surprisingly, this is feature that is missing from most of the crypto investments. Like, they all used to be the blockchain companies and now ICO companies. They sell you their tokens. They claim that these tokens will go up in value, but they don't actually tell you how the company is going to make money. Like, what is the actual step-by-step business plan? Like, in our case, I can tell you that we are expecting to have so much in deposits. From that, we're expecting to be able to make so much on overnight lending. Excuse me. I can tell you that we're going to have a certain volume of people wanting to exchange money back and forth based on the market demand. I can tell you that if we charge a specific fee, that we'll be making that much money per month or per year on that exchange activity. I can tell you that we'll be charging so and so for merchant processing fees and for supporting merchants. And I can tell you, based on the market and the actual current estimated growth, how much we'll be making on those merchant processing fees. So I can actually run down and tell you, these are the numbers. This is specifically how we will be making money. This is specifically how much we expect to earn. And I can back it up with real world examples of this is actually what's going on. As opposed to a lot of these ICOs, they raise money for an idea. And raising money is like the easiest part, which surprisingly, like, I never really raised money myself, but main reason I never did is because I would feel like it's an unethical thing to do without an actually good idea. And most of the ideas that I've seen out there are just like I feel really bad raising money for them, because I guess I'm smart enough to figure out why they won't work. And because I'm smart enough to figure out why they won't work, I would feel really terrible raising money on those projects knowing that they won't work. But yeah, a lot of them either don't know why their ideas won't work, or they're based on hope. Like, this is a really great sounding idea that'll change the world. Obviously, it'll go up, and the tokens behind it and the company value will go up in value because people really need this thing. But then you ask, like, what is your actual revenue? Like, how do you actually, what are you going to be selling, and how much your money are you going to be making on this idea? Unfortunately, most ICOs don't actually have an answer for that. So it's just, well, people need this, so they'll support us, right? But anyway, so yeah, we did dig into the numbers, but again, a lot of it was not. The primary portion of it was not the numbers themselves, because the numbers are the numbers. The primary portion of it was who I am, what I can offer, what contacts I have, how I'm going to build it, how we're going to leverage our advantages, what are we going to do for about the competition, and who the other person is too, because I need to know what the investor can bring. Like, a lot of times it's just money. In this case, I actually need a little more than money. I needed some coaching and other contacts, connections, and other things. And also, I want to know that the person who's investing is going to be a good person I can deal with, who is not going to screw me too. Because, like, really, a lot of times you might think, like, usually you think like the investor puts in the money and the business is the one who can screw the investor. But it can actually go the other way too. The investor can put in the money, and then the investor can screw the business by pulling the money out, by making some demands, by even suing you to pull the money out. So they can pretty much screw you if they don't agree with something. So you gotta kind of make sure the person you're dealing with is good too. So yeah, that's what most of today was about, is more relationship building, which is what I'm here for. And it went really, really, really well. I mean, I had a good business plan and a good idea, and there's definitely a market demand for it, but it went good because I was able to successfully explain and present this whole idea, and also present, obviously, myself as somebody who's trustworthy enough to be somebody who could be invested in and who can actually execute the idea too. So, so yeah, went great. So, I mean, hopefully if you guys are out there having to raise money and build relationships, hopefully you'll take something out of this too. Like I said, don't don't do kind of a cold, unfeeling, these are the numbers, give me so much of your money and I'll give you so much of a percent return, because that's not really going to work. Focus on building actual relationships. So 2 days ago, met with the first people I was here about that comic business. Went really well, built a relationship. Yesterday I met with, as I mentioned, with the CEO of Airbits, or Edge now. That was supposed to be a short dinner that went for a very long time. Went really well. Already had a relationship, kind of, sort of. Now it became an even better relationship. So we're definitely going to be definitely okay with working together. And today, again, it was another meeting and another building of a relationship. So it's like all the financial and business side is kind of secondary. That's just, the transactional tasks that need to be taken care of on a to-do list. The main transformational part here is you got to build a relationship where the people will be willing to work with you and you can work with them and you're going to be on the same page and you know that there's not going to be any kind of issues. So yeah. Anyway, tomorrow, getting up in the morning, luckily not at 4 a.m. I actually picked out a flight later because, it's the weekend, but like I need my sleep sometimes. I haven't really got much sleep this week at all. But flying out tomorrow at 1, getting home late, but I can work in some of the contract and paperwork type stuff on the airplane as I get home. And, we'll see if anything happens tomorrow, but also tomorrow's travel day. And then back to work on Sunday. I mean, obviously, because as I mentioned, I'll be working tomorrow too on a plane. But yeah, finishing up the actual transactional stuff with the contracts and stuff, figuring out how that's going to work, and filling out some of the information that I need to still finish for today's pitch, I guess, the proposal. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And the rest of the day, I guess, it's just pack and more contract stuff, I guess. Crypto's doing well, I guess. Nothing really in the news. There's still the same old side chains. Price seems to be going up a little bit more, but I've been talking to some more people, and yeah, there's kind of this hopeful optimism is really building up. So hopefully it'll go up again eventually. Hopefully it'll break out. But nothing really on the crypto side. But for business, it's been a really great 3 days. So I'm very glad I flew out here to do this stuff. I mean, it's not, meeting people in person is really worth it, even in a day of video calls and in ubiquitous telephones, video calls, internet, all that stuff. It's still good to meet the person in person to kind of discuss, see their body language, see their eyes, look them in the eye and tell them, and see if they're looking in your eye and they're telling you the truth, kind of a deal. And just build a closer relationship that's more personal, as opposed to just somebody contacting you on the internet going, hey, give me money, or hey, I'll give you money. It's funny, in the first on a Wednesday business meeting, it was me going, hey, I'm going to give you money. Today's was, hey, give me money. But in both cases, the main point was building a personal relationship. So yeah, personal relationships. See you guys tomorrow.